Привет! I read some more fanfics, so I'm back with another fanfic recommendation video. One thing they understood while writing the script is that the amount of chapters doesn't really mean anything for some of the fics here, so I'll be saying how many words there are in it, okay? Okay. Broom Closet Witch by Phoenixris. Tags, mature, graphic descriptions of violence, and it's currently ongoing at 91,000 words. Tommy is a poor little orphan with a big dream, become a witch, but despite his best efforts, he isn't accepted into Grand Academy of Magic, so he has to make do with what he has, a closet full of junk that has been turned into a poorly created altar. It is illegal to practice magic without being the student of the academy, but Tommy just can't resist the lure of it. One day, when scrolling through the internet, he stumbles upon a website advertising a discount on crystals, and of course, Tommy can't say anything to Tabo Rambo, so he makes an excuse to sneak out of the store the next day. He meets some very strange people, and now he has a god he serves. So yeah, witchcraft. I don't practice witchcraft, so I can't judge the accuracy of this fic, but I can tell you that this fic is so good in my opinion, that it has become my second favorite fic ever. Captain Theseus by Eslick. Tags, general audiences, graphic descriptions of violence, and major character death. It has almost 119,000 words. Tommy runs away from the DSMP and becomes a pirate captain, sailing alongside his son Shroud and his crew on his ship Clementine. One day he's forced into offered a job by the president of a certain country he used to live in many years ago. He now has to go on a trip with the said president, an old birdman, and a warrior pig. Also, he's kinda invincible, I guess. There's something so nice about reading a fic about a version of Tommy that isn't afraid of people that he was once afraid of. A Tommy that has his life figured out and is living it to the fullest, happy with his new family. Now this next one is a bit hard to pronounce, so bear with me here. I wanna win the rat race, never mind second. The love that I got is forever my weapon. By Illustrious Athena. God damn it, AO3 titles. Why must you be so difficult? Tags, teen and up audiences, ongoing at 27,000 words. After Rambo tells a fellow Enderman his concerns regarding his friend's safety and health, the DSMP mobs, both passive and hostile, take one look at Tommy and say, mine. They rescue him from exile and make Dream public enemy number 1. This fic is so adorable. All the mobs refer to Tommy as some sort of baby, so like chick, a calf, a pup, and so on. Spoilers! Mama Polar Bear is not happy about Dream hurting her cub, so she rips him to shreds. Now Dream has 2 canon lives. It just makes me so happy to see these mobs so possessive over Tommy. He really needs someone to protect him after everything that's happened to him. Every time the animals talk about him to each other, they talk about him as if he was their collective child, and it just warms my heart. The Comfort of a Cat Hybrid by Kit Kana. Tags, general audiences, 18,000 words. Cat hybrid Wilbur spends most of his days walking up to random people and making their lives just a little better by letting him pet him. Every day he goes to the nearby school to make the children happy because that's what makes him happy. It makes him so happy, in fact, that he hasn't shifted into his human form for quite a while. So what if he has to live in a cardboard box? That's what cats do. One thing leads to another and the rest of the sleepy boys find him and take him in. Slight problem, they don't know he's a hybrid, nor does he want them to ever find out. This fic is angst. It has what I'd like to call annoying angst that later becomes good angst. What I mean by this is that so many of the problems, well, all of them, could have been solved if Wilbur wasn't so afraid of telling this family of hybrids that he too is a hybrid. It has a happy ending and the one shot is very happy too, so I highly recommend it. Icing Those Hers by Dryer76 and Plantform. Tags, teen and up audiences, 33,000 words. I never thought I'd see Tommy of all people become a figure skater, but here we are. Tommy is a lonely, scared and hurt child that is forced to practice day and night by his coach. Surprisingly, it's not Dream. He reaches finals and while getting ready, he runs into a famous hockey team, and they decide that Tommy is part of their team now. I know I've said something similar many times already, but seeing the hockey team so protective of this little figure skater warms my heart. I love these kind of fics, okay? Someone taking care of a hurt character is really all I need to make me happy and consider a fic good. Demon on Jubilee Line by Philza. Tags, general audiences, 84,000 words. Tommy's a little devil that lives in the London Underground, specifically the Jubilee Line, but he wasn't always a devil, he was once an angel. An angel hurt and abandoned by humans, an angel that was forced to fall and lose his pureness, all because of the god he was aligned with. One day, Fey Ghost Wilbur waits at the Jubilee Line when he notices Tommy and decides that he needs to save him. He has to stop the line from taking another life. Listen, I like found family, okay? Most of the fics I read are either found family or neglected Tommy. I'm sure you can guess why I like this fic. I also really like fanfics, so this is a nice bonus, especially since a lot of the fanfics I read describe fae as evil beings that try to enslave humans. Don't get me wrong, they still do, but at least it's not the main character that does it, you know? Extension by Frosted Nudibranch. Tag, teen and up audiences, no archive warnings apply. 72,000 words. Tommy causes Dream and his friends trouble every day by using his wind magic, flying through the alleys and launching himself and others in the air. Dream Team nicknamed him Floaty because of this. Don't worry, it's all playful, they aren't mad at Tommy or anything. They're simply worried about why this 13-year-old blind boy is spending his entire day messing around. Did I mention Tommy's blind? Tommy's blind. The Dream Team then asked the Arctic Empire to help them catch the little troublemaker, and they got attached. Good guy Dream and found family, what else can you ask for? It has been brought to my attention that in the last video all the mentioned fics have made people sad in some way. So I am gonna give you an adorable one that probably won't make you sad. Well, except for the fact that it's Technoblade, and that is sad. How Technoblade Saved the SMP with Hugs by I'm a Cat with a K. Tags, almost 29,000 words. The title describes the story perfectly. Back when Techno and Dream were stuck in prison, DreamXD made a deal with Techno. He gets them out of prison, and Techno hugs every single person on the server. And hug people he does, friends, enemies, gods, everyone gets a Techno hug. It's 13 chapters of Techno just hugging people. Like honestly, what more do you need? It's a perfect fic, 10 out of 10. And lastly, I'd like to present to you Like a Raven in the Snow by Vibe and Vend Kago the Crow. Tags, teen and up audiences, graphic descriptions of violence and major character death. Currently ongoing with 11,000 words. Eris, an Elytrian, is a mercenary who after being deceived by Schlatt goes to her childhood guardian Philza, who is currently living with everyone's favorite anarchist, Technoblade. Eris may or may not start developing feelings for him until Wilbur shows up and decides to be a real pain in the ass. I might be slightly biased towards this fic as it's written by one of my friends and I helped editing the thing, but I do highly recommend it. And that's it. Those are all the fics. There's no more to this video.